It's Tuesday. What an event we're at here. We're at Canada's Farm Show. Welcome. We're live. Sharky is with me.
He is.
He's signing autographs. Everybody knows Sharky coming by. Hey, Sharky. Hey, Sharky. It's the SportsCage for 3 hours. Thanks to Saskatchewan Lotteries, main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. We've got a jam-packed 3 hours for you here, live at the Farm Show. If you're coming by, stop and say hi.
You don't know where we are, though.
We are. What do we call this? The link.
The
Banner Hall is to the left. The new ITC and everything is to the right, and straight ahead would be the Brandt Center.
Yes.
Moving from your radio dial right to left, it's Barney, Shynkaruk, and Sharky.
Heard that yesterday. Loved it. Going from my left to right.
We got 3 hours. What we're going to do, we're going to recap some local hockey here in the first little bit, all the way from AAA to junior, provincial A last night, senior style, NHL. All you Flames fans, ouch. Pats played tonight against the Swift Current Broncos right over at the Brandt Center. Under the orange top, as the kids say. There's a little pregame party. It starts at 4 o'clock. We gave away tickets for the last week. We're coming down to that. We might have to have a pint together. Hell and Back, Canada's tribute to AC/DC. It says from 4 to 7 in the Young's Equipment Farmhouse Lounge.
Which is that way.
Moving from
That is the very,
left
very,
to right.
very, very west end of the Viterra Trade Center.
Right near where that pickleball limousine is parked all the time.
Over by there.
Over just outside there.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Thunderstruck Ag Equipment and Canada's Farm Show. I'm like I said last week, I'm a sucker for cover bands. I'll listen to that. Pat's WHL rundown in a bit. Samuel Emilus from the Saskatchewan Roughriders is going to join us around 3:30. Talk about the Combine. He set a record, something like when he was in the Combine. 40. There, it's really close to the record. 40 time. We'll talk to Samuel from he hails from Montreal. If you got any questions for him, send them in. We'll get to that in a second. Arash Madani, hour 2. We'll start things off. Lots to talk to Arash about. March Madness, NFL, CFL Combine. Probably sprinkle in a little NHL in there too. Clutch performer, Ryan Smith, associate coach of the Regina Pats, going to join us live and on set here in hour 2. Into SJHL report time with Benny Walchuk for Southie Mainline Chrysler. Playoff time in the SJ. Curious to get Benny's if you'll give us his true predictions.
I got some.
I know you do.
Yep. I'm ready.
You without a comment. Big time anomaly. Glen Suitor. I pre-taped Glen Suitor earlier today. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Of course. When is the tour over?
He's got 4 days left.
Wow.
He's got a new hat, and I start the conversation with explain the new hat and what team is that. It's actually really interesting. So that's in hour 3. We'll go down the Combine path with Dave Thomas. He's going to talk to Seth Hundeby, University of Saskatchewan linebacker from Saskatoon. And if there's time, Colson, heads up, we're going to rerun Samuel Emilus for people that miss it in hour 1. That's the program.
Wow.
Right there. Where do you want to go first? Do you want to get into local hockey?
Let's do local hockey. I'm ready for that.
Moose Jaw. I'll start with Moose Jaw AAA last night. Backs against the wall. A chance for Swift Current to advance. And Moose Jaw in overtime.
Nice.
I said, you got to do the backwards reverse. It's only a 5-game series.
Because they were down 2-0, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kieran Osberg in overtime for Moose Jaw. Pat Canadians and Blazers.
Tonight.
Game 4. Pat C's trying to advance to the AAA championship, provincial championship series. They lead the series 2-1. 7:30 tonight on the west side in Saskatoon.
At the Barney Shynkaruk Arena on the west side.
Keep your head on a swivel.
War Memorial.
We're going to that one. AAA female yesterday, Sharky. I don't get this one. Notre Dame Up, they go to North Battleford. They're up 1-0 in that series.
They win 4-2 up there, I believe.
Battleford's got to drive all the way to Wilcox, Saskatchewan on a Monday, and they win 6-2. Notre Dame, you can't let those ones. You've coached a lot of hockey.
Yeah, you can't give that one away, right? You got somebody, you got to put them to sleep, and they let them back in. So now they got to go all the way back to Battleford. I don't even know when that game is. Is tomorrow? Friday? Got to be pretty quick. But yeah, they had a chance to put them away and they missed it. So Battleford is back in the series. And, you talked about the Moose Jaw series earlier with Swift Current. When earlier in the year we watched Moose Jaw play the Pac Canadians, and I thought, especially on that night, they were way, way better. They were way ahead of the Patsies. Moose Jaw looked faster, they looked bigger, they looked stronger. And to hear that they had to salvage one against Swift Current is kind of a surprise. Yeah. I figured they were a shoe-in to get through to the final.
Swifty's good.
Yep.
Good coaching. Good younger players there in Swift. Going back to your female AAA, why wouldn't the girls load up the bus and head to North Battleford today?
Really?
8 p.m. puck drop.
So they played last night and they're going to turn around going right back.
Let's go.
Is it a best of 3 or 5?
5.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure it's 5. So yeah, Notre Dame won't be back into their beds until like 3 in the morning.
No.
Fresh off a Tuesday trip to the Battlefords.
That's a long
unless
way
they're
to go.
staying at the Tropical Inn. Then they'll be okay. Okay, and then this is for another weird one last night at the Al Ritchie Arena. Capitals and Fort Knox. Fort Knox 7-1.
Wow. They came in their backyard and stole their gas.
Amongst other things. 2-0 series lead now for Fort Knox. Spencer Copeland, 2 goals, 1 assist. Marc Belanger had 1 goal, 2 assists. They go again tomorrow. They're not crazy. They're taking a day rest. They're going tomorrow in the Fort. 7-1. It happens a lot. So it's a 7-game series. So Regina Capitals, Coach Jeremy Palnick, hey, calm down here. We blew that one. I didn't go. I got home when I think we got sickness going through the house again. I'm gonna sit this one out. I made the mistake of watching the Flames and Leafs, and yes, if you listen to the program every day, I did sprinkle a bit on the Flames yesterday. That's embarrassing.
Poorly.
Wasn't even close.
Poorly.
Betting on the Washington Generals to beat the Globetrotters. That's what it felt like.
Hey, when that cashes in, though, that's going to be a big ticket.
Yeah. But you see it in series, minor, like this is still minor hockey, like junior B, where all of a sudden there's a blowout game. It happens.
It does.
That doesn't mean anything. Now you lose the third one in the Fort tomorrow.
You're in trouble.
By a big score.
Doesn't matter what
then
score.
You start panicking.
Yeah. You can't go down 3-0 and expect to be in the series for very long. If Fort takes a 3-0 series lead, Regina is going to have a real battle to come back, especially after the 7-1 drubbing they took in their own barn. So they've got to play. Literally, it is their biggest game of the year tomorrow night in Fort Capel.
And then if they lose that one, they start watching tapes of the Edmonton Oilers last year from the playoffs.
Those are entertaining. Yeah.
Well, this happened. They came back.
Yeah.
Almost pulled it off. They wanted to look at this.
It's a big challenge to come back.
See if the Regina Capitals, if they did switch up goaltenders. Yeah, they did play both.
I would imagine so.
They kept Danzero in for most of it. And then Luka Stadnik went in.
Mopped up?
Or unless Luka started, it looks like he got the loss. He didn't have a good start. Anyway, and then in senior hockey weirdness, Kenaston and Kyle play game 3 of the Provincial A North Final on a Monday night in Kenaston. I know a number of people that made the trek to there. They were about 350, 400, not a big crowd. I don't know why. I get they're playing league as well.
It's the old, we don't have ice. We don't have ice. We know you're going to be short players Monday.
See, I don't think Kenaston's playing that game, but still, regardless. Anyways, Kenaston wins.
Yep.
So now we got Kenaston and Round Lake provincial A final. They can't figure out dates. Rumors going around that Keniston's going to be booking the Belcher Center in Saskatoon, which makes sense.
It does and it doesn't. I mean, from a fan standpoint, in terms of the number of people that can get in, yes, but you give away your home ice advantage if you get out of your barn, right? If they played all year in that barn, you don't give that away.
You got enough UofS Huskies on that Keniston team?
There is a lot of Huskies
that
on
is
that
still
team.
home ice advantage.
There is, but it makes a big difference. I wouldn't give that away. I'd force Round Lake to come in there and battle away.
Financially, you would go 700 people instead of 2,500 to 3,000.
Depends what Belcher's going to cost you too. They're not going to give that rink away for you.
Your cost for the day is going to be a worst case scenario $1,500.
Again, I don't believe in giving away your home ice. Jam them in there. You know where all the bolts are sticking out of the boards and the screws are loose. All the corners are bounced. Don't give that away. Play them in your rink. Make them play. Make them beat you in your barn, not somewhere else. It's nice and comfy.
I'd go to the Belcher.
Pack it.
I'm thinking money.
Pack it.
I'm thinking a nice $30K day. You wouldn't get in on the concession and the beer sales.
Nope.
But you'd make up for it in butts in the seats for sure.
No, make them play in Keniston. Where's Round Lake going to play?
Sheet up there.
Where's Round Lake going to go?
They played Ochap. Lots of Ochap. You're 20.
Oh, Balcarras moved to Fort Capel.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah.
No, Chief Denton George Arena in Ochap, one of the nicest barns in the province, like including WHL barns.
I haven't been in it. My apologies.
Yeah, it's nice. And then what do you think? Okay, so let's get into this and then we'll take a break. We'll go WHL. What are you thinking about this SJHL first round?
Well, I think 1 and 2 are, I don't want to say they're gimmies, but 1 and 2 are kind of decided. Melfort's just a wagon to play against. It's going to be tough for Kindersley to take 4 from them. So that's a real battle. Flin Flon has been hot all year, and especially to go into Flin Flon for Humboldt is going to be a big challenge. After that, Weyburn, Battleford, they're both going in the same way in the playoffs, 6 and 4 in their last 10. That has a possibility to go deeper and be undecided. But as everybody knows, the favorite is the 4 versus 5, Melville, Yorkton. Buy tickets for all 7 games because she's going the limit. But Melville is hot. Don't get me wrong. They are playing very well.
I don't know if Colson's putting up on the stream the rundowns of the SJHL. If not, this would be a really good time to do it. We were talking about it. Yorkton, Melville, coin toss for me.
It is. It's super tight. I was looking at all their stats coming in. Melville's penalty kills high, but their power play's low. But their last 10, I think they're 7 and 3. Yorkton's 5 and 5. Melville, it's too close to call. It really is. It's gonna go the distance too, unless something goofy happens, a goalie gets hurt or something like that. But 7 games.
Interested to hear Benny Walchuk in the SJHL report coming up in hour 2. Talk about that. Let's go for a quick break, and then when we come back, I want to get your thoughts on the Western Hockey League, where things stand going in. Interesting night tonight for one of the teams playing in that Eastern Conference. It's it's a real coin toss. With SportsCage, we are live at Canada's Farm Show. We are in between First and First, for the nexus of the universe. No, we're Banner Hall and the ITC, the kind of link there. If you're walking around, looks fun. Some good grub over there. Smells really good. Everything's happening. We're live streaming on sportscage.com, on X, and of course on 620 CKRM. See, it's awesome.
There we go.
When you're at the Ag Show here live.
Progress.
It's not called Farm Progress anymore. They changed the name. Canada's Farm Show.
Oh, it's farm. Oh, look at that. There's no progress on the farm.
Rebrand, but we just met Carson Stu from the Ituna Kelleher area. Plays U7 hockey.
Yeah.
Says the rink in Ituna is pretty sweet.
It is.
You played in the old one, you said.
I did. Lost his tooth.
Oh, that's where you lost the tooth.
It was my first dental incident. Ituna. Yeah.
Carson, he's got an NFL sweater. I said, do you have a favorite NFL team? He's a fan of the league.
The whole league.
Fan of the brand. Smart. That's right.
Yeah.
You pick up a team in like mid to late January.
Yeah.
It's a good time to start cheering.
Right around the start of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Find your favorite.
Pats and Swift Current Broncos tonight at the Agrodome. 7 p.m. puck drop. You can hear it right here on 620 CKRM, 6:30 pregame show. And then they have the tailgate party, 4 to 7.
Down that way.
Down here. AC/DC cover band. Yee. That's going to be awesome. Okay, so
from our broadcast left to right.
Yeah. The Broncos,
they still got a chance to catch the Oil Kings. Yeah.
They do have a chance to catch the Oil Kings. Slim, but it's there.
And
they're locked into the 8th seed.
Yeah. Yeah. But if they catch the Oil Kings and they get that 7th seed, that means they play either Brandon, PA, or Saskatoon in the first round. Or, yeah, Brandon, PA, or Saskatoon. That's the way it's going to wash out. Yeah, they could even beat. No, the Oil Kings can't catch it. So it's going to be fun to watch. Swift Current still got lots to play for. And they're not going to be taking their foot off the pedal tonight.
No. Moose Jaw's at PA. Prince Albert Raiders just nicely situated in that 6th spot. But Chikai. Because if PA wins tonight, they move into the 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference standings.
They do.
Now, the other teams would have a game in hand.
Yep.
But wouldn't that be? It was Saskatoon, and then it was Brandon, and then now all of a sudden PA with a new head coach.
Yep. But Brandon's last 2 are a home and home with the Pats. So you got to think they're looking at a chance to take 4 points in.
And no one from the Pats will admit this. But if you finish last, you get 6 ping pong balls. If you finish second last, you get 5. And third last, you get 4. So, again, let's wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and let common sense prevail here. You want to finish last.
You do. Or you hope your ping pong ball comes out first. Because the first pick overall is going to be pretty special.
Who does Moose Jaw have left? You know that? I
believe Swift Current.
That would make sense. A little home and home.
Yeah, I believe Swift Current.
And Kelowna. See, Kelowna has kind of come out, and I forget what's their record here.
They're far enough ahead, though.
In their past 10 games, Kelowna is 1-9. They've lost 9 in a row.
Yes.
And I think even if you go further, I was texting with John Keane, our WHL insider. I forget what he said. Kelowna has done a good job. I think, hey, this is me, of tanking, basically.
Well,
saying
giving themselves a chance.
Yeah. Kelowna has lost 25 of the last 26. That's what Keener said. What?
That's a streak.
What a run.
Now, Kelowna's the host next year for the Cup, right?
And therein lies the interesting conundrum.
Yeah.
They're going to need players. Kelowna gets that first round pick. Kelowna gets the first overall pick. You need players. You're hosting the Memorial Cup. Let's call a spade a spade.
You're going to move them.
You have to move them. What are you going to get for them?
You could get a boatload.
Yeah. You need a 2 studs that can come in, I think. 2 studs that can play next year.
Like 2 18-year-olds are going to be 19 that are going to be the best players in the league.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you need some capital. And then you trade that capital later, maybe.
To get some more guys in. Yeah.
Well, why?
But now, now we go back to this conversation that I started with you the last time we were on about the NCAA change and what that means about going after 18-year-olds that are playing junior A.
No, that's right? You are correct, sir.
Right? So who are the best junior A players at 18-year-old in Western Canada? Like Kelowna should go, taking that guy from Melfort, I'm taking that guy from Brooks, I'm taking that guy from so-and-so, and those guys are going to be on our list for next
I know, year. But when you talk to off camera, off mic, when you talk to WHL managers and coaches and stuff, they'll tell you it's a big jump right now.
But in the past, it might have been a big jump. I think we're going to see.
You're talking Cooper all days.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get it. And bigger, stronger, is that going to become a thing?
Yeah.
So, but it's real interesting tonight. Again, Swift Current Pats 7:00 right here, steps away from where we are, and then Moose Jaw is in Prince Albert, and Moose Jaw 36 points. I think when we wake up tomorrow morning, Moose Jaw will have 36 points. I'm just saying. Jason Ripplinger and no dummy.
He's. I'm sure he'd like to have that pick back, but it won them the league championship last year. But
you hung a banner.
Yeah,
you hung a banner. CFL football talk when we come back. Samuel Emilus. We're hoping that he is going to hop on the link and he will join us. We are live at Canada's Farm Show, presented by Viterra. Come and find us. Say hi. Throw something at us. It's all good. SportsCage streaming at sportscage.com. Of course, on X. And then on the mighty 620 CKRM. Meet all kinds of people.
We do.
Bryce Reynoldson, Chamberlain area. Stop by. Was it a heckle or did he say hi?
A little of both.
We're at Canada's Farm Show. Thanks to everyone who brought us here. Good job, Curtis. He's got us buttoned up. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline.
If you guys think we did this, we had nothing to do with any of this. That's all Curtis.
If you don't have anything to do with supper tonight, then just pick up Western Pizza. Pick up special, any of the Greek favorites you like. It's always a great night for Western Pizza. Joining us on the Western Pizza guest hotline from your Saskatchewan Rough Rider, Samuel Emilus. There he is right there. How's it going? Okay, who did we talk to recently that was in their vehicle? Looks similar. They were sitting outside of a gym. Are you going to the gym right now?
No, I just finished.
Okay.
I just got done with my day now.
That's right. That's right. Hey, the Combine's in Regina this week coming up. And you had a chance to do this. When you go back to your time and before the Combine, take us through that. Was it nervous? Were you feeling it going into it? What was the Combine experience like for you, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, Combine. I mean, my pro day experience was like you said, like it's nerve wracking a little bit. You really work like a month and a half, 2 months just waiting for that one day, just to get ready and show out in front of the scouts. So it's definitely nerve wracking, but once you're done with your day, it's like a monkey off your back. So, but to say the least, it was a good experience, and it's only happened one time, and I'm glad it's in the past.
40-yard dash time was
4.55, I believe. I was in the mid 4.5. Okay, 4.49. Okay.
Hey, which was
make up whatever you want. We don't know.
Which was the fastest one, I think. Like, so yeah. Take us through that, because I've always we watch it in the NFL and guys are doing it, and we're going to be seeing it here this week. What's the key? What's the key in running that 40?
I mean, the key really is definitely the start. I feel like the start, you can steal a couple of milliseconds, and that was really the main focus. Like, I was like, I got to make sure I have a good start to make sure that the rest of the 40-yard or the rest of the 20-yard is just smooth. But when I was working out, that was my main focus for sure, and I think I did pretty good. I think I had my 10-yard split was like a 1.49, which is it's actually good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
It sounds faster than I can move. Yeah,
in a car.
Hey Samuel, I got a question for you in regards to advice you would give a young guy that's going there right now. So he's going to the Combine. He's, like you said, there's nerves waiting for that first day. You took him aside. What would you tell that young fella?
Really, just be yourself. You've been yourself this whole time. You just got to be yourself really till to that same day. Like, don't change. Not because it's coaches, scout talking to you. Just be yourself. You've been working this whole time, making sure that you get there and finally you there. So just be yourself and enjoy the process at the same time. Like, it's an experience. It's a opportunity that not everybody have. So enjoy the whole process and have fun with it, and at the same time be yourself.
Nice.
Did you lean on anyone for advice before you went?
Yeah, I did talk a couple of guys I knew that did it the year prior. Like a few guys like in the CFL, like Brian Arimana, Reda.
Oh, we lost him on the feed. We'll get him right back though.
To make sure, just to make sure that I know what's ahead of me and what I should expect.
All right, let's talk about the team. There's a lot of excitement around this team. Guys coming back, guys that have signed here. It's a culture thing. Now you guys got a year under your belt. Your mindset, what you're thinking as we sit here in March, probably can't wait for May.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to go back and get on the field with those guys. I mean, just with the new coaching staff that we had last year, we was trying to build something, and obviously we fell short. But this year is another opportunity, and I'm excited to get back with the guys in May and work for the ultimate goal.
When you talked about the goal and you talked about the new coaching staff coming in, and I think everybody in Canada saw the difference in our football team, and I call it our football team because I'm from Saskatchewan, so I feel like I own part of the operation. But when you saw that change come in, what was the biggest difference that they brought to the dressing room? What was the biggest difference from Coach Mo?
If I would put one word, I would say accountability. Just not the coaches, but it was in between the players also, and it's like most of the players, like when most people, when they take accountability, they think like when somebody not doing what they're supposed to do, to just yell at him or get to him. But it was more than that. Like, it was like, hey, if we want to put like some extra work in, everybody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? And extra meeting time, and most of the time it was just the players wanted to do it. So you don't want to be the one that being left out. So of course you're gonna partake in that, and I think that was the biggest thing this year, last year for sure.
What makes Trevor Harris so good?
Experience. He been in the league for what now, 20 years or plus. But nah, to be honest, what makes Trevor Harris great, he just ahead of the game. Like, he see things before they happen, and he's seen every coverages, every situation that you can think of. So obviously, whenever you go to the battle with him, you feel comfortable, and he's just a guy you ready to run through a wall for him. So that's what Trevor brings to the table for sure, and he a big piece to our team.
So what is the receiver group like? Like, tell us the inside story of the receiver group. You guys, there's only one ball. So, and everybody can catch it, and everybody's got speed, and everybody's got a lot of swagger. How do you guys get along with just one ball to catch out there?
We just know that at one point the ball gonna come our way, and we're gonna make something with it. We are a big unselfish group. Nobody complain about getting the ball. And like you said, we got different personalities, different people that want to have the ball, but they know that I have the utmost confidence in the guy beside of me. So if he don't want to get in the ball, I just know he gonna make some happen with it. And I just gotta. And when your turn come, you just gotta turn up also. So it's not about having one ball. It's about bringing that one ball to the goal line.
Love it. Love it.
What did you know? What did you know about Saskatchewan before they drafted you in 2022? Like
not
the
a lot,
province,
to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot, to be honest. All I knew is they had a CFL team, and that was about it, to be honest. I didn't know much, but obviously once I got drafted, I started doing my research. Get more to know what are the main cities, uh the food, the culture a little bit. So I was doing my my due diligence. But at first, I didn't know too much about Saskatchewan, except that it had a CFL team.
But it's home to you now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. What?
Yeah.
Because you played
Most
college.
definitely.
You played college ball, UMass, right, to start, and then transferred to Louisiana Tech.
Right.
Just going back to that, I like to ask guys, why the transfer, and how was that transition for you?
Okay. Yeah. So long story short, right? So I had graduated in 3 years because I had transfer credit from Canada. So usually guys transfer in 4 years. Well, I graduated in 3. So when I had an opportunity to be a grad transfer, I kind of took it, and I felt like me going, down south where football is a little bit more like for some people is their life really, So I felt like that was the right opportunity to just experience new things, experience a new, football side of things, and yeah, man, and that was a exceptional experience. I met some guys, some coaches, and they still help me to this day. I still keep in contact with them. So yeah, that's the story for that I have for you. Why I went over there.
That's interesting. What did you take in school?
So I graduate at UMass in sociology, and when I graduate from there, I went to Louisiana Tech to get my MBA.
Nice. Congratulations.
Attaboy.
Yeah, well done.
That's really
Appreciate
good.
that.
Okay, I gotta ask, as a Montreal guy, like, did you go to Al's games back in the day? Did you go watch like Anthony Calvillo, Ben Cahoon, all those guys?
I didn't get a chance to go like in person and see, but I could say I was faithfully watching every game on TV. And when I started watching it, they were winning. That was the time when they had like kind of a dynasty with like you just said, Calvillo, SJ Green, who else they had? Colburn, the running back, Cahoon. What was the center? I remember the True. Was that his name?
Yep. True.
Yeah,
Scott
True.
Flory. Scott Flory.
Yeah, exactly. Just a bunch. Yeah, those guys. I remember watching them like every game. I had to be in front of my TV. So I would say also that's where my love for the football came around, and but yeah, I think my love for football came from watching the Alouettes when I was young for sure.
Do you love going to play there? Like when you go with
Yeah,
Riders?
yeah. I mean, I love playing there. We played there 3 times. We lost all 3. So definitely this year something gonna have to change. But I like playing there obviously because I got family and friends coming to the game. And just being from here, it's my hometown. So it's always a good experience. It's always a good opportunity to be in front of my family because they don't see me play in person often because I'm in Saskatchewan. But yeah, this year something gonna have to change. I'm gonna have to leave my hometown with a W.
Well, let's start with those bloody horns.
Yeah, get rid of those horns.
Those horns in that stadium that all the fans
Yeah,
have.
are they legal? I just want to know.
I don't think so, Samuel. I don't think so,
we need
man.
to get your family on that job this year. You guys grab those things.
Yeah.
And no, it's
we might have to.
Yeah,
we might have to.
Hey, Samuel. It's a pleasure to watch you play, but it's a pleasure to watch that receiver group play, just because it's so exciting. It's so exciting, and I asked you about it earlier about the receiver group, and everybody's coming back. Like, that's the best part. Like, nobody wanted to go. Everybody wanted to come back and be a part of that. Even Sean Baines Jr., who got banged up pretty bad there at the end of the year. Everybody's coming back. That's got to be pretty exciting for the group.
Yeah, man. It just going to say that we just been on what we had going on last year, and the chemistry already gonna be there. So it's like just talking about a receiving group. I know what to expect from each and every single one of the guys, and we got ballers. To be honest, we got ballers from top to bottom, and we got depths also. So I'm excited to work with them, lead them, and obviously have a great year.
Look forward to it.
all right. Well, I know we're not keeping you from the gym. You said you're already at the gym. Are you doing the AJ Ouellette training method now? Or are you gonna be cut
No.
up?
No, hey, shout out AJ, but I would never squat with him. Never.
All right. Thanks for taking some time. We appreciate it, of course, and really, really, really looking forward to watching the season. Looking forward to your receiving group out there on the field.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for having me.
Right on.
Thanks, Samuel. Cheers.
There he is.
All right.
On the Western Pizza guest hotline, 27-year-old Samuel Emilus from Montreal, Quebec.
What an outstanding young man.
Let's go to break.
Yeah.
It's the Sports Cage. Getting up against news here on 620 CKRM. We are live at Canada's Farm Show down here, the Real District. There's the hardworking fellows moving some chairs.
Can you smell the prairie smoke and spice barbecue?
Oh yeah. What am I, hard of smelling? Of course I can smell
I'm
that.
hard of smelling.
It smells really good.
Oh, I'm just watching them over there.
If you're coming down, you got a ticket to the Regina Pats game. There's a discount, just under $22 to go to that Pats Broncos game tonight, because you also get into the tailgate party at the Young's Equipment Farmhouse Lounge, 4 to 7. We got the AC/DC tribute band. Do we go tribute band or do we go cover band? I know tribute is kind of the way everyone goes
I
now.
think it's tribute. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to call it
tribute.
cover band. I like being difficult.
Okay.
My wife will tell you that.
I always say, do what you do best.
Hell and Back, presented by Thunderstruck Ag Equipment and
it'll be that way.
Canada's Farm Show. Radio dial left to right. All right. We kind of briefed everything on the local front, which we'll do again in hour 2. I want to talk a little NHL with you.
Go ahead.
Last night, the Calgary Flames.
Yes.
Talked to Eric Francis.
Yes.
He wasn't going to the game. He was maybe going to watch the game.
He was in New York last night, was he not?
He was going pedal down in New York. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of his tweets, and I was like, ooh, Eric might be in one, which I like. I appreciate that. So
hey, if there's going to be a place to be in one, New York City is one of those spots.
6-2 Maple Leafs over the Flames. The Flames had a goal disallowed on the power play to tie it up in the second period. It's right around when I placed my in-game bet.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, here we go. And then that was, I didn't even know how they called it. It was an offside call, which I was like, nah, that's way too tight. They're not going to be able to call that. But they did. And then the Leafs ran away with it 6-2. Now they hop on the bird probably last night, get into New York.
Yeah.
Unless they went today, because as Eric said, there's no game day skate in New York. But they take on the Rangers tonight, who are desperate for points as well. My question to you,
go ahead.
As Maz was talking yesterday, when you look at the West, start at the West, the Western Conference wild card. Right now, Minnesota is going to get the first wild card spot unless they catch someone, but they're got 79 points. And they're not going to catch Colorado.
Yeah, that's what they got to catch up to. So that's a ways.
But then Vancouver and St. Louis. Vancouver's got a game in hand on St. Louis, 73 points. Calgary has 2 or 3 games on hand. On hand.
And what do we got about
tribute?
12? We got about 12 left.
Cover. Yeah, like are the Flames cooked?
No, they're not.
After watching that game last night, I'm like, who is scoring goals for these guys?
Well, actually, nobody is. The Flames are the lowest scoring team in the history of hockey. But as long as they got to make sure to win the games that are in front of them, that the teams are below them, and the St. Louis and Vancouver games. They're going to lose to Toronto. They're going to lose to Colorado. Like, those games are going to be tough for them.
Are we really putting Toronto in the you're going to lose to Toronto category?
You know what? Toronto's a good hockey team. Like, they're a very good hockey team.
The Berube factor, I'll give you.
They just play crappy in the playoffs, right? They fold up. And if they don't finish first in the East and have to play either Tampa or Florida, they're in big trouble, right? I don't see them getting by one of those two teams.
I don't believe in Vancouver.
I don't either.
Not that I'm watching a ton of Canucks games. I don't believe.
How do you right that ship after what it's been on this year? Like, there hasn't been steady sailing of the Vancouver operation all year long. It's been nothing but a disaster in that dressing room. Quinn Hughes being out hurt them. Now that he's back, they've got a chance to win some games. But even if they get in, who are they going to face first? Winnipeg? Good luck.
And
good night, Jim Kite.
Quinn Hughes is playing a lot of minutes. He looks frustrated at times, looks banged up.
Brock Besser said he wants out, right? He's not going to re-sign. So then
that's where the thing, St. Louis. But then the sneaky Utah Hockey Club, which I really thought they were going to make more of a jump in the last 10 days here. They haven't. They're still 2 back. But I think smart money would be on St. Louis Blues. They've won their last 2 games.
Parayko's out.
Yeah.
And he's out for 6 weeks. Like, he's not a little bit out. He's out.
And Bennington looked the hide of Jekyll the other night.
He's got 2 different attitudes, and depending which one comes out, St. Louis has a chance or it's over at the puck drop. The anthem is the difference.
That's what he should have on his goal mask. One side should be Jekyll, the other side Hyde. It's like, what is going on here? Which, being a St. Louis fan, you would have to be the roller coaster of emotions, and I'm sure a lot of fans don't want it, especially Edmonton Oilers fans right now. They're like, please don't get me started on roller coaster of emotions. What the last 11 months has been like for us, or 10 months.
Yeah. Okay, so you're thinking St. Louis is getting that last spot. Colson, are you writing this down? Colson, please.
You know what? No, just because I like to be different and difficult, I'll say Utah somehow sneaks in.
I think the Flames are going to get it.
Is that what I'm writing down? Utah sneaks in?
Utah and the Flames.
And then you write down Sharky Flame first, because that ain't happening. I don't think.
I think the Flames, they've got the most complete game. They just need to get some more goals going. They need to score. But that's one of those things when it opens up, it really opens up for
Calgary, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Calgary, Winnipeg, first round.
Yeah, take Winnipeg.
A couple of comp pints would be good right now.
Somebody could swing by.
Okay, so then over to the East.
Okay.
And if you haven't really paid attention out there in Radioland to the Eastern Conference wild card, tonight Calgary's taking on the Rangers are hanging on to that last wild card spot for dear life. They need to win.
They do.
They're not a bad hockey team. And Shesterkin,
they've underachieved all year. Yeah.
In net.
Yeah. They've underachieved all year.
For sure they have.
Big time.
Like, so you go, if you could go eyeball test, but if you went player versus player on a sheet of paper.
Oh, the Rangers
I would say
in front.
Wait, I say to my son all the time, all right, well, let's just go paper to paper. Okay, their guy and their guy. Who's outplaying who there, do you think? But then go down the thing. Yeah, like New York. And they struggled to the year. And then now I think they are poised to get in there. I don't mind Montreal grinding away at 71.
I don't want Montreal to get in. I don't want that false hope that they're good enough to advance. They still got to get better. Ottawa, I think, is going to be the team to get in.
Oh, yeah. They got 77 points. And I'm actually hoping.
Yeah, they're on a tear. And because he'll play his brother, won't he? When he play Florida in the first round? Yeah, he would. So Florida and Ottawa would play in the first round. Watch those two brothers hack and slash each other. Right?
Fight.
Yeah. Oh, they would fight constantly.
Were the two brothers that fought in the NHL?
Primos. Yeah. Their mother got mad at them.
Yeah. I remember that. Like early 90s-ish.
Yeah.
Mid-90s.
Mom phoned them both, gave them a scolding afterwards. Yeah. There'll be no more of that.
Okay, so Colson, while you got the book out, who gets in?
Okay, I got to come over and look what else you got. Rangers, Habs. Oh, Columbus. I'm taking Columbus.
Yeah, 2 points back.
I'm taking Columbus.
I'll take the Rangers.
Okay.
I think the Rangers.
What do I owe you right now? I owe you a pizza and a beer? A couple of beers?
At least a couple of beers.
Sharky had
Calgary.
Blue Jackets. Barney had Rangers.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Tonight, cool bet. Calgary plus 215 in New York to take on the Rangers. Oof.
Well, they probably flew last night because they wouldn't have flown today. You wouldn't want to fly it. I mean, that's probably a 7-hour flight to get to New York.
From Toronto?
Oh, I thought,
like an hour and a half.
Sorry, I thought they were in Calgary. Sorry, my mistake.
Jeez.
Yeah, my mistake.
7. It's not even a 7-hour drive. No,
I had him in the wrong city. Yeah.
But yeah, those are big odds. No one's thinking for the most part Calgary's winning tonight. It could happen though. It's the NHL. Okay, quickly to locally tonight.
In Saskatoon.
In Saskatoon. Not sure if they still have the blocker rooms booked at the Confed Inn. Pat Canadians take on Saskatoon Blazers. It's game number 4. Chance to wrap it up for the Blazers or for the Patsies.
Yeah.
Or do the Blazers push it back to the 6er?
If they did, they get when's game 5? Friday? No.
I heard it was rocking the other night. 50-50 was around.
We're at the Ham.
$2,000. No, at the 6. It was a big crowd.
Love it.
Thursday would be game 5. 8:00. Yeah, so that's going on tonight. And then we talked about the women.
Yeah.
AAA.
Notre Dame's in Battleford.
Yeah, they lost last night. Battleford drove all the way down to Wilcox, Saskatchewan, won 6-2. Then they loaded up and drove all the way home.
That's bad scheduling too, because you're not going to get home till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Is anyone remembering that these kids are in school?
It's not even that. It's just it's tough.
Is school a thing anymore?
No, it's not. It's
like in some of these schedules. Okay, and then curling fans, we haven't forgot about what's going on there. Rachel Homan, 8-3 over the Turkish squad and 8-4 over the USA. Stick it, elbows up. That's the new trend, right?
not in curling.
The Swiss lead 7-0. Canada and Korea are tied in second at the World Women's Curling Championships at 5-1, and they play today. Koreans and Rachel Homan.
Is that like tomorrow morning or today?
No, it's an early game tonight. I think it was 8:00 Eastern, so maybe 6:00 our time or vice versa, somewhere in there. Don't quote me. Go to the ever popular World Wide Web and find out, or maybe Colson. I had it up here. Let me just.
We've got a lot of screens on the go here.
Well, we're just out of our element, right?
We are.
Taking us out of our element. We're live at Canada's Farm Show. Big equipment. If you got a kid that likes, big combines and tractors and semis and all that, bring them down here.
That'd be fun to drive around and play on that for a while, wouldn't it?
Which one?
That one right there.
The combine?
That X9 1000.
I'd be so scared and doing something stupid.
Well, you can't roll it.
I would, yeah.
You just drive it into something.
Oh, and I don't know what the price. What's that thing run? 700, 800?
Oh,
million?
yeah, it might be a mil.
Schmel.
Yeah. Cool schmill.
Okay, so current time zone. This is good. Someone's gonna yell at me here. Canada, Korea, Wednesday. No, we'll have to regroup on this one. I think it's giving me the time in Korea, but I don't think anyone listening to this program's in Korea on that time zone right now. We'll figure it out. Hour 2 is going to start with Arash Madani. We got Clutch Performer going local there. SJHL report, an associate coach of the Regina Pats. Ryan Smith is going to stop in hour 2. It's SportsCage. We're live at Canada's Farm Show, streaming at sportscage.com on X and on 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the Sports Cage. We are live from Canada's Farm Show. Normally, Barney Shynkaruk is sitting beside me, but he's off made new friends way down the hallway. Here comes Barney now. He's wandered back. His important time is over, visiting and socializing. So Barney will rejoin the show. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Shynkaruk. Nice to have you as part of the show today. Oh, got to find his headset. Here we go.
It's great. Get to run into people you haven't seen in a long time.
There you go.
We're still got heavy metal music on. That's the intro. How much did I miss?
Not much. I didn't wreck anything. No, I kept things pretty good.
What is Colson telling us in our ears? Is Arash ready to rock?
He's got Arash.
Let's do it. Play it.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
Madani. Hey, Arash, I'm going to jump in here before we start with you. Shout out to whoever texted in. Rachel Holman curls at 8:30 Newfoundland time. Roscoe,
How does that help us?
all I saw was 8:30. I thought that was our time. Gee, somebody look up what time she curls.
It's 8:30
Please.
Newfoundland.
I think that's 5 p.m. in Saskatchewan, isn't it? Because 8:30 Newfoundland is 7 Eastern.
No, I think Roscoe's hitting the sauce on this Tuesday. And he's just screwing with
He's
us.
just throwing dates and
out
times
there.
at us.
And then Gary in Winnipeg, I just went to the Prairie Land Rentals text line, thanks to Prairie Land Rentals, of course, 600 Albert Street. Small jobs, big jobs. The crowd at the women's curling is disgusting. Less than 100 fans per set of games.
Come on.
They're not really showing the crowd, so I'm going to have to watch closely now tonight. Arash, what's going on in your neck of the woods?
Do you look refreshed, Arash? You look like bright sunshine. You look very good.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, Sharky? When we do daylight savings time here in Ontario, and the sun, like I'm just in my living room, and the sun is just boom right in my face here. So don't need any lights, don't need anything like that. 6:09 Eastern time. This is where the sun is. We'll take it.
What's the temperature there today?
Yeah, I just went for a walk. This is what happens when you go into semi-retirement. It was light. It was light spring jacket and a long sleeve. That was the temperature today.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Golf course is opening maybe in a few weeks.
I would think so. There isn't much snow left on the ground here, so we'll take it. By the way, I know I've been out of the business for a little while now, Sharky. But way back in the olden days when I was doing radio, we showed up on time for the show. We showed up on time for the segment.
Oh, buddy.
And the worst part is he's way down the hallway. Like I can't even see him. He's so far away.
I was doing stuff for my real job.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Talking to people. Okay, let's cut it. Okay, thank you, Rose.
The mayor of SportsCage Town. I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rose, for listening. TSN says 16 or 1800 hours SAS time, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
So that's what I said earlier, and I was very unconfident. So then I bailed on that, but now, thanks to Rose, we are at 6 o'clock. But let's talk about the CFL Combine first, Arash.
Yeah.
It's here in Regina. We talked to Rough Rider receiver Samuel Emilus in hour one, who competed or had his Combine day back a few years ago. What's the big difference, maybe that fans, the regular Joe Blow, myself, between the NFL and the CFL Combine? Do you know?
Well, I mean, there's a few things. I mean, so for the NFL, if you're going to be a first-round pick, what happens at the Combine is a very little relevance, like how fast you run the 40 or how many times you lift the bar or any of those drills. And not many of the first-round picks are doing one-on-ones anymore. So what matters for an NFL guy going in is the meetings that they have with the teams and your medical. At the CFL Combine, there's so much of what you do. Yeah, you've put some stuff on tape in your career, but so much of what this weekend is about has much more of an impact on the way teams kind of look at you. And the day that matters the most is the one-on-ones, head-to-head competition. The number of times you may lift the bar, okay, somebody may kind of catch their eye. Holy smokes, they lifted 225 30 times or whatever, or how fast you run your 40. But guys, the one-on-ones, on-field stuff, head-to-head, makes a real impact on the way teams look at some of these prospects.
Is that because it's sort of a best on best or draft pick versus draft pick, if you will, rather than the regular season?
Yeah, I think it's part of it, Sharky. The other thing is the underwear Olympics don't really do anything for you. You can run as fast as you can, you can lift the bar as many times as possible, but that doesn't make you a football player. No. So it's kind of like in a scenario, think about what a draft pick is going to be doing. They're going to be playing a lot of special teams. They're going to be in a backup or a third string role. If they're going to emerge, it's going to be in a pinch where they really need them in unfamiliar territory. Can you then right away adapt, develop, do? It's one thing, and the best on best thing is a big part of this, because when you're playing at the U Sports level, there are a lot of players on that field whose last game ever of organized football is going to be there.
Yep.
So, now you get a chance to go up against much better competition, and this is your audition. This is where a lot of, they'll look at your tape, but this is where a lot of that kind of can play itself out.
Okay, what are we looking at? How many quarterbacks? Do we know quarterbacks? Have you looked into how many quarterbacks are coming to this?
3. And I guess 4, there's a kid from Manitoba who's a quarterback/receiver. So they'll have 4 arms around. But fellas, Taylor Elgersma's not one of them.
No.
There's a belief that there's a chance, like this is not reporting, but just around football circles, some people think there's a chance that Elgersma may end up being a 6th or 7th round pick in the NFL, may end up becoming a compensatory pick because of his size, because of the arm strength, because of the size of his hands. Remember the whole Joe Burrow controversy from 4 or 5 years ago. And there's nothing for Elgersma to gain by showing up to this combine this weekend.
That's what I was just going to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, I guess
Now,
that.
the one guy I'm interested in, again, very few of these players are household names, so to speak.
The Laval
But
QB.
there are 2. The Laval QB, Arnaud Desjardins.
That's the guy.
In the Vanier Cup, he started something like 15 of 15, 16 of 16. And again, that's one game and it's a sample size of whatever. But he's a good decision maker. He's a good processor. He's not going to force something that isn't there. Jonathan Senecal from Montreal. He's somebody who's won, championships before. But Desjardins is a big frame, big body, a guy who can make throws downfield, and a really good decision maker. Look, we're always talking about the Canadian quarterback. I'm just interested if he's going to kind of raise some eyebrows and turn some heads this week when he's in front of all those talent evaluators. I think that's going to be a really interesting part of this thing.
The Rams had him here.
Yeah, I know.
Mosaic.
They
had him rattled.
Yeah. Couldn't finish him.
Are any internationals coming to this?
I think I saw 4 global names, predominantly wide receiver. I think there's 1 defensive back on the list as well. We're so used to seeing globals being punters and kickers. They're bringing some of the skilled guys over here too. So I thought there would be more, to be honest with you. But that's on the list so far anyway.
Okay, so now the next biggest thing happening in sports right now is March Madness. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on other than it's college basketball in the U.S. I do not follow it at all.
And Florida's good.
Yeah, Florida's good. So I've heard. Florida's a team to pick. Tell me what's going on at March Madness.
So Sharky, I think where that puts you is at approximately 96% of the public who's going to fill out a bracket, who doesn't know anything about what's going on, but they're going to throw down $5, $10, $20, fill out a bracket, office pool with their friends online, whatever, and go through it. Guys, I remember in university, North Carolina was like an 8 seed one year. And my buddy's girlfriend at the time, God bless her, Jacqueline had an aunt named Caroline, so she picked the Tar Heels to win it all. And wouldn't you know it, the 8 seed Carolina Tar Heels were national champions, and Jacqueline won the pool. So, it's the Al Michaels line. Nobody knows anything. Everybody knows nothing. The best team doesn't always win. The number 1 overall seed in the tournament is Auburn. The best team probably is Florida. To me, Houston's very dangerous. But it's called March Madness for a reason, for many reasons. And it's crazy.
Is there a name? Is there a name of anybody that we should be worried about or knowing about in this? Because used to be, now everyone's like a one and done.
Yeah. And that's what's so interesting, guys, is that I think this is part of the reason why it's so up for grabs. There's no programs anymore. It's whatever team can assemble the best group of guys for a year, and away you go. And I think part of the allure of this whole thing is not just because it's brackets, and I think that plays a big part. It's that they're all 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Like, it's erratic. Their heartbeat is all over the place. It's loose balls all over. Like, there's no structure. There's no professionalism when coming down to the dying seconds. And that's what kind of leads to these crazy finishes.
Okay, let's regroup on Thursday about March Madness, because again, I got like 4 brackets sent to me today, and I'm like, oh, what do I?
Yeah,
I don't know. Is round? How can I take round Lake and Kennington?
Houston, keep your eye on Houston. I just like the Cougs.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers. I keep waking up every day being like, okay, does he play? So where's the dominoes are going to fall? What do we know there?
Well, we know he's not on a CFL neg list, which is probably the only place that he hasn't been rumored to end up this offseason. I don't know, guys. Like, I get the Giants don't have a quarterback, but they're probably going to draft one. If I'm the Steelers at this point, do I just not say to Aaron Rodgers, look, are you coming here or not? And then we're just going to go with Russell Wilson if this isn't going to happen. Like, at some point here, teams have got to move forward. I get there's no deadline, right? The deadline's really the draft, which is another 5+ weeks away. But he's a 1-year player for you. And I just, you want to do your due diligence. I get all of that. But doesn't it feel at this point, I don't know about you guys, like it almost feels like a charade at this point that he's got going on.
What it does, it's a bit of an attention-seeking exercise in my books, right? That what he's doing, but is he
which
really
is very on brand, Sharky?
Yeah, it is. But is he really an upgrade from Russell Wilson?
It's a good question. I think here's the thing: if I'm Pittsburgh, like I believe in continuity, and I just think year 2 in the same offense with an upgraded offensive line and a better receiving core, bringing in DK Metcalf. I think you can get more out of Russell Wilson. Remember, Justin Fields started the first, 4, 5, 6 games for the Steelers?
Exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't until they lost to Dallas, I want to say about a month into the season, that they finally went with Russ. And Russ is younger. Russ he's a little more dynamic. His body's in much better shape. Rodgers just looks like a guy who, coming off the Achilles, just can't really move anymore.
I don't know, but then Russ kind of got chubby in Denver, looked out of shape, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm very curious. Okay, let's end it with this. I got a note here that you want to take a shot at me. Someone retired that's going to throw a dagger at old Barney.
Oh, what's the dagger here?
Brandon.
Oh,
Graham.
yes. Oh, Brandon Graham. Okay, so for those of you watching on the stream, this is the Super Bowl in 2017 when the Eagles beat the Patriots. Brandon Graham strip sack of Tom Brady.
Yep.
Eagles up 38-33 with just over 2 minutes to go. Made the defining play to win the Super Bowl. But guys, like, it's 2025. Brandon Graham played all 15 years of his NFL career with one franchise and comes back from a torn pec to play in the Super Bowl and made an impact this year when they won their second title. I don't know. Yeah. Outside of quarterback, I don't think we will see another professional football player ever play 15 years for the same franchise. I think Brandon Graham may be the last one to do it, and what a way to go out.
Colson, write it down in the book.
Yeah. It's pretty unique. It's pretty unique.
All right, let's catch up on Thursday. I'll fill out one bracket just so you can laugh at me. How about that?
You know what? You say that, and you're going to finish third. You're going to end up getting like the $50 booby prize, the bronze medalist.
Jacqueline, give me the names of your other aunties.
Yeah.
Or grandmas or whatever. I'm taking them. All right, buddy. Thanks so much. Talk to you again.
See you, boys. You got it.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley. Smart investing solutions. We'll go to break. We come back. We got Pat's associate coach standing by, Ryan Smith. It's the Sports Cage live from Canada's Farm Show, on the home of the Pats, 620 CKRM. The fellas from Great Western coming by. There we go. Back at Canada's Farm Progress Show. You don't need the Western Pizza guest hotline for this one because he came live to us. It's Regina Pats game day. Ryan Smith, associate coach, joining us. Thanks for making some time, swinging by. Did you find it all right?
Yeah, no problem. Just a straight shot out through the rink.
Yeah.
So,
Because we don't know where we are to tell anybody.
Well, when I got text to come, I was like given pretty vague directions, but no problems.
It's like a speakeasy.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
There you go.
You know what? Last time I talked to you is you were just getting to Regina. They announced you. Family was, all that. How has it been for you? I know that on ice, the team's battled. They're young. People get it. For you personally, how's it been?
Yeah, you know what? It was a transition, but it's been good. Like getting back to like a Canadian market after being down in the States and nothing. I had a great run down there, but it's really neat to be here in Regina. And like you said, there's no hiding that we've struggled on the ice, but people are still real supportive. Of in restaurants and around town. It's nice to be associated with the Pats and be talk hockey, and as you guys know, and we all feel like we're NHL coaches or experts, and in some of the markets down south that you don't get that, and that's not there's not hockey markets. So being back was good. I'm a Manitoban. It's closer to home. I had really lots of success in this division with Swift Current and seeing some familiar faces again throughout the battles with Moose Jaw, Saskatoon, and PA. And that it's been nice to get back, and we'll find our way on the right side of the results, coming up next year. But it's been a battle on the ice.
How do you, and we've talked to some of the players over the last few weeks, and it's been great, the older guys, and you're going into a Lethbridge and you're going into a Calgary and Medicine Hat, which is tough, and there's no doubt about it, but they're getting up for these games, or you have teams coming in here that are vying for playoff points and they need points. Has it been rewarding on that respect to see some of these older guys step up, be leaders, and groom some of the younger guys that are going to be here for maybe 2-3 years?
Yeah, like that's when you're an older guy going down the stretch, especially the guys that are graduating this year, and at some point whenever we were officially eliminated, there's an easy road to take, is just kind of mail it in and cruise through the rest of the season and get ready for the rest of your life, whatever that is. And they didn't do that, and even the guys that have the potential to come back as older guys have they've bought in, and it's hard. Like you mentioned it, the teams that we're playing are jockeying for they're meaningful games, and for us it's getting the experience and playing players in minutes and situations that maybe on those other teams they wouldn't get, and if we were in a different spot maybe wouldn't get. But that's where we're at, and that's we made a cautious decision to go down that road, and it's patience for this process to take place. But to answer your original question, the older guys have been great. They've been, they show up every day. They work hard. They're trying to lead their guys, and so it's been impressive to see that, and proud of those guys to the way they've handled it.
Ryan, what's your biggest takeaway from the guys that are coming back, the young guys? What's your biggest takeaway that you watched this year as they developed in preparing for next year?
Well, I just here's my take, is that you got to play. Like you can be in the Western League at 16 and play 6 minutes a game and or be scratched every once in a while. Like our guys are getting an opportunity to play, 10, 15, 20 minutes a game, and they're playing against top, matchups aren't our favor. And for us, have our younger D play against the Braden Yeagers and the Gavin McKenna's, shift in and shift out. Like we're not talking about one shift where you, like when you're on a team that's a little stronger, where you're like once in a while they get caught out there against them. Like we're purposely putting them out there against them they're living it. So they're getting to live this. And I think that's going to be the takeaway, is like, I survived that game against McKenna, and I, actually stopped them a couple times. And so that's probably the takeaway. And there's been some hard lessons learned in some of those games as well.
Have you ever been, you've your coaching resume. This isn't your first coaching gig. You've been around. Have you ever been through that before?
Yeah, like honestly, in Spokane and before last year, we only won 15 games the year before, and we did a similar kind of, you know, we did the same approach and went young and gave guys all the opportunities, gave some older guys some opportunities to move to teams to win or to have a chance. And you know, last year we doubled the wins and got into the playoffs, and now obviously this year, I mean, we're looking on your screen where they're sitting in the standings. So the process will work, I believe, and I've lived it. So you know, it's the start of it again, and we'll see where it goes.
He's got some junior A experience coaching.
Yes.
I'm going to let you ask that question.
You're gonna give. So I have kind of a theory of what's going to happen with the NCAA switch and what that's going to cost.
Sure, yeah.
There's an opportunity now, whereas a kid may have stayed junior A before thinking he was protecting that spot. He could be an 18-year-old playing junior A that you go, we want to bring him up.
Yeah.
We want to have him in the lineup. Is there going to be that up and down in the lineup? Do you think there's going to be some kids get those looks that they may be passed on before?
I think this whole thing changes everything, guys. I mean, we're at a point now where the player has the opportunity to just really decide where he's going to go, and
he can go anywhere he wants now. Yeah.
And there's nothing rule-wise holding him back from coming to the Western League and then going to NCAA. I mean, it is literally the reason they opened it up. So there's a player in PA that did it. He was in Steinbach, who's from my home province. Very, very good team, very good player. 18 years old. Now he's playing in PA. He left like at Christmas time or something like that. So it's already happened. Will it happen more? Yeah, I think it will. I mean, if we have a player on our list in Regina that's playing in wherever he's playing, I'm not going to name a province, and he is doing really well and we've wanted him, and he decides at some point, I mean, you have to look at the makeup of your own team that you don't disrupt it. But I mean, you don't turn away good players in this business, in sport in general. And, you know, so I think you'll see that a little bit. I think you'll see players make that decision earlier, come to our league at 16 and 17 instead of pressing the brakes a little bit to see where they're at. So it doesn't hurt them anymore.
Do you think that there's a possibility the Western Hockey League becomes an older league? A more an 18, 19-year-old league?
I think it might go the other way, guys. I think you might see, like I said, the 16-year-old that was hesitant, I don't want to ruin my eligibility, to go, I'm in. Like, I don't have to worry about that. I can go play 3 years in Regina or Spokane or Vancouver, and then I can go to UND or Nebraska or wherever, you know. And so I think that, you know, the tricky thing is going to be to hold on to those guys throughout their Western League career, that they don't jump to the NCAA too early.
Yeah, that'd be the only catch.
That's the catch, and that's the worry. And there's a real possibility that that's going to happen. That, you know,
I think that personally, with a kid first year bantam hockey this year, and you know, where's AAA going to go now? Where's it going to go? And with the NCAA, I'm wondering if the younger kids go, but a lot of teams are going to be so much older. You know, if you got your powers that they're 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old kids, and then now it's like, hey, 17-year-old, go play in Michigan. Go play in the East Coast anywhere, Hockey East, right? Like that's a tough assignment. The one thing with you being in Spokane and seeing the American side, now we're starting to see some of these top American players that were protected by dub teams saying, I'm coming now.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, it's, you know, it's the Minnesota player that's playing high school hockey that's dreamed of playing for the Gophers and doesn't want to ruin that dream, does not have to worry about ruining that dream to come to Regina or Brandon or wherever, you know. And for us, we're in a spot where
Luke Christofferson, I screenshotted this. You know, he's a top Minnesota player.
There you go.
Big defenseman.
Yeah.
He would have, because you know Minnesota, they want to play college hockey
100%
at any of those schools there. And now he's coming here because he can still go do that.
That's the beauty of this for the player, the parent, you know, and I think it'll work for both leagues. I'm sure there's guys that are saying, Smitty, what the hell are you talking about?
I think it will.
I think there's some that are you know, in the junior A league and in the NCAA that are this can work for us. We can make this work. I think it's a good marriage. It's taken a long time, and now, this is the early stages. So there's some things to work out.
There's some laundry to wash.
In 5 years, we could regroup here and be like, well, were we off?
You're right. Like in 5 years, we might be going, oh my God, well, this was a huge mistake. Like we have lost all these players, and or we could be, this is so beneficial. We're getting all these players, and like guys, I believe this is the best junior league in the world. I've said that there's arguments out there, but it is an unbelievable league, and it prepares you for pro, the travel, the grueling schedule, the grind of it, and I believe now those kids that were hesitant because of that rule can come and play in the best. That's the sell. This is the best. Exactly. And yes, there's the USHL and there's the OHL, and they're all fantastic leagues, and they are saying the same thing over there. We're the best league, but I think we have a legitimate argument now to bring these kids in without any backlash.
I think we have you guys have the data.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? It's like my wife says, data doesn't lie.
No.
Yeah.
No, numbers don't lie.
You want to go? Sorry.
No, I was just on that same, when you talk about minutes, you were talking about minutes earlier of guys playing.
Yeah. If
you're a 16-year-old playing 6 minutes here versus maybe going junior A and playing 20 minutes to be better prepared as a 17 or 18-year-old to come, I just see the development opportunities I see is greater than ever before.
Yeah. And when you look at the teams around our league, the teams that are at the top, they're a little heavier on the older players. So they're younger guys. They only have 1 or 2 16-year-olds, and they're getting their minutes. But the other thing is when you practice against those guys day in and day out, that helps too.
For sure. Yeah. It's like college football.
Yeah.
When you're practicing in the SEC, you're going to become a better receiver.
Yeah. You're going against the best players. So, I think your point is like, there's been a tremendous amount of 16-year-olds that have not made this league and come back at 17, and we never see them because they're gone at 18 or 19 to pro. So it's not the be all to end all. It's not a race to be here at 16. It will maybe, again, we may be able to get now a few more 16-year-olds because of this rule, and there's not a hesitation to wait for, to see where they're at. Exactly. So, but the development is all about minutes. It's you can do all the skill sessions. You can lift a million weights. You can run miles, but when you're in the guts of the game and you have to make that read on a 2-on-1, or you've got to chip a puck out in the that's development. That's the minutes. That's the living the game, right?
Yeah, the kid can skate around pylons. You can open up his edges. You can do whatever. Put him, and when it matters in games that matter, you're going to really. Okay, so before we let you go, you're a Manitoba guy.
Yeah.
2 questions here. What do you think of when I say Warroad, Minnesota?
Oh Christ.
Well, first thing I think is Christian Brothers. I think they're famous. Dustin Bufflin's not from Warroad. I think he's from Roseau.
Yep. But you played for the Allen Cup.
I did. Yeah. But
Sharky lost a bid to go to the Allen Cup from Warroad.
I didn't play for Warroad.
I played for Southeast.
I played for Southeast for 4 years. I think we won it in 2012 in Lloydminster. It was incredible.
Against Rosetown.
Against Rosetown, and it was incredible hockey that when I came back from Europe, I was like, I'm not sure I want to get into this racket. I was 35 years old and kind of not what I was. And then I got playing and I met some guys, and we went to 4 Allen Cups. The first one we lost was in double overtime to Bentley, which it was it was like a pro game. I was like, this is so intense. And it just kept going, and we finally won in Lloydminster in 2012. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and really enjoyed it.
That one still burns the Rosetown guys a lot, like the Warroad.
The Warroad to keep.
So like Terry Yake was still playing at like 48 years old for you guys.
We were flying Terry in, and we didn't. I don't know if those were the rules. I guess it allowed it, but we had a number of guys from the Grand Forks that played UND. We had alumni from the University of Manitoba Bisons, and we had a lot of good pros from that made their homes in Winnipeg.
It was a sneaky, deep, good team. Because I remember being like, who are they? Because when I was playing, it was like Il Duchesne, and I'm like, then they had all these guys.
Yeah,
we just don't know. And then my last one for you is what would it do you ever think, what if Winnipeg wins the jug? What if they're the Canadian team that does it? Like wouldn't that be something? No one's talked about Winnipeg winning it.
Well,
I don't think anybody wants to curse it.
No, I mean, like, it's just as a Winnipegger, you're waiting for the shoot, like that slipper to fall off Cinderella's foot. But it's, I don't know, you guys. I think they have what it takes this year. Like, they got a real. I mean, they have the best goalie in the league. That's you can't really argue that, and that's a really good start.
As a hockey guy, like, shovel day off, he's got like, I don't want to get traded to Canada. Definitely don't want to go to Winnipeg. So he's got to find like Shan and Tana.
It's crazy, like to the atmosphere around Winnipeg. Like, that's the one bonus of this season being over, is I'm going to be home for the the playoffs and that, and get to a game or two, and it's incredible, and it's blue collar, and it's very similar to Regina as far as people love their teams, and the Rough Riders and the Pats and the Jets and the Bombers, and it's, if they could win it, I mean, it would spark pandemonium. Like, it would be the whiteout parties are unreal. They're set up like this year to make a bit of a deep run.
I might go just for the party. I might just go pit in at Silver Heights.
Nice.
I just crush pints.
Yeah.
I just go to I'm taking you with.
I'll go to Silver Heights.
Thanks so much for stopping.
Yeah.
Ryan, great to meet you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
That's great. We'll let them go. It's a Sports Cage, streaming live, Canada's Farm Show on X and on sportscage.com. Clutch performer. I'll start. Moose Jaw, AAA against Swift Current yesterday. They stay alive. We're going to game 4, and Kieran Osberg in overtime for Moose Jaw scores the winner. You got one.
I do. At the Oak Tree Invitational in Edmond, Oklahoma. Regina's
What sport?
Golf.
Okay.
Luke Cote. Regina's Luke Cote plays for Southern Arkansas University. Had a tough third round, but it looks like everybody had a tough third round. He finished, what do we got here? 21st overall. That's probably Luke's highest finish so far in his college career. Way to go, Luke.
Good kid.
Yeah.
Luke. Used to run up his dad's chit at the Royal on milkshakes and chicken fingers.
Did he ever?
Till he learned the hard way. Clutch performer for Nick Service in Emerald Park. They're here at the Ag Show. I saw some of the guys walking around. Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077 or come visit them at Canada's Farm Show. Let's go to the SJ report, Colson.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League report with Benny Walchuk on the Sports Cage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Selfie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed.
Yeah, right now, go to Saudi 2024s, $2,000 off to $16,000 off. Crazy pricing. The new king of trucks in Saudi. Benny. Can you give it? Can you give it to us straight here? Like Maz was talking yesterday. What do you start with? I know we were going to go to Yorkton, Melville, Weyburn, Battleford. Is that a bit of a coin toss? What do you see in that series?
Yeah, I think that is. I think Battleford has been up and down the second half, but goaltending is so huge in the playoffs, and they got two of the best. Justin Merrick, who's had experience in the playoffs with the SJHL, with the runs of the Battlefords a couple of years ago. Then you got Angelo Zoll, who's been good for them all season long. So yeah, that's a toss-up for sure. Flin Flon Humboldt, that's a goaltending series as well with Matthew Keeper and Dazza Mitchell, and look, even the Melfort Kindersley. Brett O'Halloran did a great year with Kindersley, and of course you got a couple of guys there in Melfort with Christian Coombs and Madden Malacca. So I think goaltending is going to be a big story here in this postseason.
That's an impressive that you bring those numbers up. I had Weyburn Battleford's kind of a 6-game series. I wasn't picking a winner, but I wasn't going to go 7. But Yorkton Melville is going all the way to 7th in overtime in my eyes.
I hope so. That'd be really fun. But yeah, it'd be great for the communities for sure. Financially, maybe the hatred might get a little bit grewer, but that's all right. It's all friendly fun here down Highway 10. But yeah, it's just a great scenario. First time since 2014 these teams will meet. So at the in the SJHL playoffs when they last met in the final there in 2014. So it's exciting times. I know tickets have went on sale in both communities. Actually, Yorkton today, Mal will go on sale on Thursday, and the tickets are going fast, which is great to see.
I'd love to see it. Love to hear it.
Yeah.
Packed barn. So will there be like families breaking up over this for a couple of weeks, Benny?
co-workers in different places, because a lot of people live in Yorkton, work in Melville, or vice versa. So it's gonna be some good community pride, but it's all for fun. I know I've seen driving around Melville, seen a lot of jerseys in the businesses' windows, which is great to see as well already. So, and all with those new lights now you can get, like people have those lighted up. They have their blue and white going on around the community. They got some millionaires logos happening as well. So it's a new way to kind of support your pride here across both cities.
All that railway money in Melville. People have the fancy lights, and there's going to be a lot of text messages passed. Did you see who punched out? And then you have to go to it.
Yeah, another video.
No, it's that's going to be really exciting. Now, Melfort, you talked. Let's go to that. You talked about Kindersley goaltending. Like what makes Melfort so formidable this year?
Just so deep. Yeah, just so deep. Yeah, like defensively, they're in your face, and when you play them, you know you played them. They kind of run you into the boards, and they run you up and down the ice. And then they got some big D with Nolan Roberts. You got Ty Thornton, Zach Turner, who played with the Swift Current Broncos. He's on the back end, and Nick Andrusiak, who's probably most likely going to be the SJHL Defenseman of the Year. He's one of the candidates for that award. So they're very good. And then up front, maybe they're not as talented as they were last year during their championship run, but they have Riley Cote, who's led the SJHL in scoring with 73 points on the season. So it's a team that's very, very tough to beat. They don't have any flashy players, but they're just deep up and down the roster, and it's going to be definitely tough for any team here in the SJHL to beat them in 4 games.
Flin Flon, let's go to Flin Flon and Humboldt. And I mean, the Flon had that amazing run in the middle of the year. What 22, 23 games without a loss, with 1 overtime loss or something. And Humboldt's got to be looking and going, man, how are we going to get through this fire wagon up here?
Yeah, exactly. And you're right, Sharky. They got off to a tough start, and then the biggest thing is Matthew Keeper came in. Of course, Matthew had spent some time with Regina Pats, and he didn't lose a game in regulation for like 23 in a row or something like that. It was just an amazing run he went on. He kind of solidified the pipes. So then you add some here and there. You had some guys from the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League they added in, and then they got the Ringer kid and Keith Gruner and guys stepping up. So and definitely, when you get down to the second half of the season, it's tough to play at the Whitney Forum. They're in your face. They're always coming at you. They'll shoot you. I know it's maybe a little bit amplified a little bit there with the shots wise, but they get 45, 50 shots a game, and sometimes it's tough to beat them here at the Whitney Forum. But yeah, it's a thing. But we talked about it with goaltending, and Humboldt went out and got Dazza Mitchell, who played with Weyburn, and last year Weyburn almost took Humboldt, who had a great squad. They almost took him in 7 games, and it was because of Dazza Mitchell. So that's going to be an X factor in that series with those 2 netminders, 2 20-year-olds in their final run of junior hockey. That should be a good series to see there.
Awesome.
Are you? What are you more looking forward to this weekend? Start of SJHL playoffs, Yorkton, Melville, or getting a chance to see Elvis Stojko Saturday night?
Yeah, I know. So Saturday night was supposed to be the Terriers' home game, and of course they have to push it up there. But it's a great thing. But yeah, Elvis Stojko in town is going to be entertaining there for the community of Yorkton, Melville. So yeah, lots of things happening here in the Parkland region.
I didn't picture you following figure skating quite like that, Barney.
I only follow Elvis.
Okay.
And Kurt Browning. I'm just looking up how old he is. Elvis Stojko, 52 years old.
Wow.
There's a picture of him. And you can't even go play rec on Thursday nights. And Elvis is still out there twirling.
Oh man, good for him. Good for him.
Benny, exciting times. I'm not gonna hold you to any predictions or anything like that, but if we have a Saudi main line worth the drive, maybe first 2 games, real interesting first 2 games. Which one?
Yeah, well, of course, I'm going to go with the Highway 10 battle in Yorkton on Friday night. It's so intriguing to see what's going to happen. These 2 teams met last weekend, and it was a tale of 2 games. Melville, if they play like they did on Saturday, hold Yorkton to 4 with their offensive talent, I think Millionaires could have success. But if they let the discipline get in the way of their things, I think Yorkton could take over with their power play. So I'm going to go with that one. And I'm going to go up in Flin Flon. Yeah, take the trip up there to Flin Flon as the Humboldt Broncos take on the Flin Flon Bombers. So it's but like you said, these interesting matchups. You thought maybe these teams would meet in the SJHL playoffs, but some tinkering down the stretch kind of changed the matchups a little bit. I would have liked to see a Humboldt Weyburn just because Dazza used to be a Weber and Red Wing to see that matchup. But nonetheless, it's going to be great for junior hockey as the snow starts to melt a little bit here, hopefully, and that's a great time of year with playoff weather.
Oh yeah, playoff hockey.
Love it.
Benny, awesome. Have a good weekend. Have fun at the games. Really interested to see how it shakes down, and take some pictures of Elvis for us.
I will. I'll send you right to DM you right for sure. Yeah, I'll put it in your collection.
And hey, Round Lake, Keniston Senior Provincial A. How about did you hear about the Foam Lake Wilkie game?
Yeah, I was there. It was like Wilkie took over for probably pretty much the second half, and then got 5-4 late, and then 2 quick goals, and then the old guy and Brett Pepler scores the game-winning goal in overtime. That Wilkie is a good team. I've never seen them live for a lot of while, but they're that Ryan Keller. Like, I've watched a lot of senior hockey. He might be one of the best players in Saskatchewan. He's so smooth at his age. I think he's 41 or something like that. So he's one of the best players I've seen in senior hockey last number of years. But he's good. They've got good goaltending, and it should be good fun. I don't think that series is over yet. I think it's going to go 3 games there in Wilkie, so it should be a great test there at the Wilkie Arena.
Yeah. This is his swan song because he's taken over the Saskatoon Contacts operation.
Oh, is he?
So he wants to win one more for his hometown of his grandparents. All right, Benny, have a good one, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you, Sharky. See you, Barney.
Take care.
SJHL report with Benny Walchuk for Southie Mainline. Chrysler, new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time right now. They have their 2024 inventory. They're blowing it out. $2,000 off, up to $16,000 off. Colson, do we go to a break here? Do we have time for a quick one? Or do you just want to? Well, we'll go into news. We'll go into break. It's a SportsCage, live from Canada's Farm Show. Locally tonight in the area, let's run down what is going on. We have the Pat Canadians in Saskatoon to take on the Blazers, trying to advance to the AAA provincial final. 2-1 series lead, 7:30 puck drop up in Saskatoon at the Rod Ham. Battleford's Notre Dame female AAA. They're taking it back to Battleford tonight.
Back to back.
After a Battleford 6-2 win in Wilcox last night. No games in the Prairie Junior Hockey League. They fire back up tomorrow. The Fort Knox squad, they have a 2-0 series lead on the Regina Capitals. Western Hockey League, and all of our Western Hockey League reports are for our friends at Extreme Hockey and Sport. You need something for spring hockey. Maybe your team needs some gear or slow pitch or ball. Umbrella Marketing can help you out there as well. They're also dabbling in lacrosse now. Extreme Hockey and Sport, always supporting local, and they hope you support local as well. Western Hockey League under the orange top. Swift Current and the Regina Pats. You brought up a good point. It's a long shot, but these 2 points are still big for Swifty.
They are big for Swifty. They've got a chance to catch Edmonton and get in that 7th spot. Ooh. And 7th gets you out of Medicine Hat, which would be something they'd want to do. If they could avoid Medicine Hat or Calgary in that first round, that would be the Swift's advantage, and that would put them against Brandon, PA, or Saskatoon. So, there's lots to play for you in the Western Hockey League.
There's another important game in the Western Hockey League tonight, as you talk about. Moose Jaw's at Prince Albert. Prince Albert needs those 2 points. Prince Albert wins. They move into second in the Eastern Conference. And Moose Jaw, they're okay playing hard, but gaining no points because last place team gets 6. But that's for Edmonton.
That's for Edmonton. So Moose Jaw.
Well, but does Moose Jaw want to do the Pats a favor? You know the rivalry. You worked in that rivalry.
I did. Yeah. Hard to say. Would you rather have Maddox Schultz in your building 6 times or 2?
2.
Yeah. If you're the visitor. Yeah.
So that's it. Oh, and then curling. Not that that's local. You can watch it tonight. Thanks to Rose again, who messaged in and gave us the heads up on what time it was. I know it shouldn't be that difficult for 2 grown men in 2025 to figure out what time an event starts with the internet and our phones and everything that we have. But we couldn't. It's 6 o'clock
local time,
Saskatchewan time.
Yeah.
Canada versus Korea. They're both 5-1 at the World Women's Curling Championship. Rachel Holman's team sitting in second place with Korea at 5-1. The Swiss are undefeated at 7-0. And then just one other shout out on the senior hockey front. Keniston dumped Kyle last night, so it's going to be the Keniston Blizzard and the Round Lake Bears
for the Provincial A Championship. They're trying to figure out where to play those games.
Yeah, both teams or just
well, Round Lake's good. Round Lake's got a nice setup.
Yeah, Keniston should stay at home. Don't take it to
600
Saskatoon.
fans. Sharky saying, don't worry about the money. Play at home.
Yeah.
We're up against news. Glen Suitor coming up in hour 3. We'll also hear from one of the competitors at the Combine, and then we're going to rerun Samuel Emilus for anyone that missed that in hour number 1. It is the Sports Cage at Canada's Farm Show on 620 CKRM. I don't, I always, Sharky, making sure that the Prairie Land Rentals text line, 936-6262, because we're at Canada's Farm Show, we got things different here. I did miss a few texts that I want to give some shout outs to. Thank you so much for people. I know another local clutch performer from the other night, Midget A playoffs, Q-Par Southie goaltender, Braden Aschenbrenner, faced 56 shots, keeping things close, losing only 3-1 to first place Prairie Storm. Game 2, Southie Wednesday night. So shout out there to Braden in that one. Somebody else here, Tommy and Davidson. Tommy and Davidson's Davidson Cyclones got a chance to hang a banner. He said, great interview with Samuel Emilus. Let's get the season going. Thanks, Tom. We're going to rerun that interview in this hour, of course. It was great. I know a few people wanting to hear that. There will be no game at Marilys like Round Lake was talking about. It's been used for minor hockey. Let's go Keniston. Pat in Saskatoon, don't be so sure. Money talks. Pat. Rule 1 in life.
Yeah, it is rule 1.
Arash, where else do we go? Clutch performer Bernie Weston, U18 AAA Swift Current tender. His numbers are crazy. He's a great tender that should be mentioned. Phenomenal kid too. Trevor and Regina. Well, yeah, he's got them on.
I love those shout outs. Yeah, I love those shout outs, man.
Trevor, thanks for that one. Yeah, Bernie Weston. And I'd be interested in hearing the Sports Cage discuss the topic of fair play in youth sports.
Fair play in what sports?
Youth sports. Okay, can we regroup on Thursday on this one?
Sure.
U11 hockey playoffs. His friend only played 4 shifts the entire game. That's a tough one. I've always been, my kid's been on both ends. Do we get an extra game? Do we get a chance to win a championship? Play the kids. There's other times in the season that kids can get kicked. That's just my view.
It's tough. I've done both as a coach. I've had to put some kids in spots that maybe they weren't that comfortable with. Again, but the other thing is, if you put a kid out, all teams have kids that maybe don't play to the same level. Yeah. So if you put a kid in a bad spot, whether it hurts himself or the team, and the other players notice, you tend to lose the team and the spirit they have.
It's depends what division too.
It does.
Even at U11, are you playing the highest division? I always said, coaching football, it's, kind of that after 10 years old, they can start learning that not everyone gets to sit in the big chair in the boardroom in life.
And participation trophies don't.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing.
I'm not into that.
No, it's a good question. Thanks for everyone that texted in. Prairie Land Rentals. You get to deal with the owner, local, 600 Albert Street.
Did you get the walk-by kids here?
I'm a chicken. I got to figure that out at some point.
Jeremy said he'd bring it to you. Like, what are you doing?
It's time for Glen Suitor press coverage for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. I know we got the intro coming. I recorded this earlier today. He's in Edinburgh, Scotland, one of my favorite cities in the world. Here is Glen.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the Sports Cage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
It is press coverage. Glen Suitor joining us as travels continue. That's why we got to work around your travels, Glen. It's been a whirlwind. I think this is the home stretch, though. Now, a new hat again today? Give us the background on the hat.
Yes. Well, this hat is the Newcastle United Football Club, which is soccer to us in North America, but their football club. And you know how crazy this is Premier League stuff. I understand. and they haven't won anything really in over 60 years. And they had a cup game. I think it's called the Carabao Cup. I have it right on the side of the hat here. I had to buy the championship hat. And they beat Liverpool 2-0 or 2-0, I guess we're supposed to say. And the city of Newcastle erupted. And I was really taking notes, Barney, on just the level of fandom, the level of and how is it different than in Canada? Even if you're talking hockey or whatever sport, how is it different? And it's hard to put your finger on it. First of all, the city erupted. Everywhere you go, they were wearing the uniforms. They all know their guys. The commentators were talking about that the players were walking on water and would for the rest of their lives here in Newcastle. Now, I'm in Edinburgh now, so we made the trip up today. But so I studied the fans and talked to a bunch of them. And I think the only difference, the closest that we come in Canada are the Rider fans, honestly. And the reason for that is no matter where your team is, they are going to cheer for your team. It's not cheering for a league. It's not, I like this league better than that league. There's none of that goes on. If they get relegated down to Division 3 or something, these fans stay loyal to the bone and crazy. And when they win, the entire city comes together. Now, I'm not sure the population of Newcastle, but I have not. I've been to Super Bowls. I've been to many, many Grey Cups. I have never seen this level of fan engagement than I've seen firsthand now in Newcastle, England, which is just down the road from Edinburgh, where we are now.
Over 60 years winning a championship. So, well, you were there. You held the kick when we won in '89. Like, that was a drought. 60 years? Yeah. Like, we're getting into like a Canadian NHL team winning the Stanley Cup now kind of realm.
Well, it really is. And that's why I was trying to compare. Let's say hypothetically that happens and a Canadian team goes right to the final and wins the Stanley Cup. Is that going to be a provincial win for whichever team it is? Let's say it's the Edmonton Oilers. If it's the Edmonton Oilers, is just Alberta gonna experience that and love that, or is it going to be a Canadian thing? I just got this sense that they are so devoted to the uniform, to the team. Everybody knows every player. I know it's soccer; it's different than a 50-man roster in football. But yeah. One other thing, and I don't want to get political, but I might just have to. We always were introducing ourselves as Canadians. I mean, if you're a Canadian in the UK, you're partners, you're brothers in arms, you are the best friend of this country. Yes, and we are, which is awesome.
The overtaxed cousin.
Yeah, exactly. Well put, and that was brought up. But whether it was a guy singing at the cave, or it was, the cavern, or it was a guy at the coffee shop that we talked to, I started to ask, once I introduced myself as being Canadian, I started to ask, how much they knew about our politics. And every single person said, you can keep Mark Carney. We don't want him. So, like I said, I'm not trying to be political here. This is anecdotally, no one in the UK was very happy with Mark Carney. So
what did he do to them? Did he mess up their soccer schedule at some point?
Well, I think a couple of them said, and I don't know, I haven't done enough reading in this, but a couple of them have said that Mark Carney was the head of or part of the Bank of England. And there was he's been, here in the UK, influential in the financial world and the economics of this region. So
we can leave it at that. You don't mess with a guy's money. Never mess with a guy's money, right?
Exactly. There's not many fans over here for Mark Carney. I'll just say that.
Okay, so the CFL Combine, firing in Regina later this week. Exciting for a lot of the guys. Dave Thomas has done a great job giving us little snippets of the Saskatchewan athletes that will be competing. And you just get a sense in every guy that he talks to, Glenn, on just like that dream of playing pro football. And yes, the NFL is the league here, but it just seems like these, and it's something for the fans to really recognize. And it's not an open, anyone can go to it. So people be careful out there. If you're a Rider season ticket holder, there's some, you can look into that. But it's just the passion that these kids have to be able to compete at this for a chance to play in the CFL.
Yeah. It's a chance to professionally, make a living playing the game you love. And, it's more than just the money too, because first of all, a lot of these kids that have, especially the U Sport kids, but even the kids that go down to the States for college ball, they've played high school football in Canada. And if they haven't played high school football, they were probably playing hockey in Canada, but they've seen many Grey Cups. I had a conversation with the commissioner, Randy Ambrosi, the outgoing commissioner, Randy, a few months ago. And we talked about the Canadian influence. And I said, if you go back to the last 4 or 5 Grey Cup games, it's been a Canadian that has made the key play in the game. And, yes, I wave the flag, don't get me wrong. And I'm not in any way trying to diminish the quality of athlete, the Americans coming up, because they're outstanding. And quite honestly, they're often more pro ready when they arrive than a kid coming out of college at U Sports. That's changing, by the way. It's getting closer and closer all the time. But yeah, I've been in that spot where you think you have a chance. You've heard from coaches. You've tested out pretty well, and there are some teams interested because you hear that through an agent, and then you go to the combine and you think, if I do well here, I have a chance to be drafted. If you get drafted, you have one foot in the door. That's your opportunity, and now it becomes more in your control as to whether or not you can make the team. And because you get a chance to get out there and get reps. Because, and I've often said, if you don't get drafted, keep working, because there are free agent signings after the draft too. So if you're a young kid and you don't get drafted, you're listening right now, just keep at it and keep your tapes going to the teams, because they'll pick you up late.
And it's, we talked to Darian yesterday, and it'll be interesting to see, because there's some pressure here. Yeah, it's only a workout, and then some people, call it the underwear Olympics in the NFL and all that. But there's some pressure here for these kids, and you want to see that. You want to see how they perform in pressure when they're kind of out on an island.
That's why I would put way more emphasis, if I was a coach or general manager in the league, I would put way more emphasis on the actual reps, how they recover from a bad play while they're taking reps, if it's one-on-ones or, a skeleton kind of drill where you're playing 8-on-8, just receivers, DBs kind of thing, linebackers. And then you can get into some team looks too, depending on the combine. But, when you get those reps, you're going to get your opportunities to make those plays. First of all, did you make them or not? How close were you? And if you don't, if you get beat, coaches are looking at how you respond to that. Do you go back and does your head drop and you start pouting and that play affects the next 4 plays? Or are you bouncing right back, giving credit where credit is due, because the guy who beat you, he's a good athlete too. And so go back out there and get another rep and make amends immediately. So yeah, Yeah, and then the interview process, Barney. I think that's so much more important than the difference between a 4.5 and a 4.4. Really, I just the testing to me, the worst part about the testing, and I know I've ranted about this before, but the worst part about the testing for me is that the athlete has to practice the 40. And when you have to practice your start for hours upon hours, you're not using that time to practice backpedaling and practice covering and practice running routes, practice catching the ball. All the things that you need in the game, you're taking that time away to practice coming out of a three-point stance, which you will never do in a game. Even the offensive linemen don't come out of a sprinter's three-point stance. They have their head up, they're looking for who they're going to block, and they usually drop into pass mode immediately. So it's just, I don't know. I know the coaches fall in love with it and they love it, and a guy comes through at 4.4 and they everyone's salivating basically, and I honestly, Barney, I'm not saying this because I wasn't fast.
Yeah. No, and again, we talked to Darian yesterday about, and I brought up, like, it is such a slim, razor thin margin on athletes these days, and what scouts and general managers, like, it'd be such a hard position to be in. And then, yeah, the character thing comes in, and the interviews, and what are the coaches saying about them? What are their high school coaches saying about them? You got to go deep, right? Like, we know this in the NFL, especially, they go deep, and I'm sure CFL is the same way. And at the end of the day, yeah, what is your gut going to tell you? And what's the data say, and what's the gut? So it'll be really interesting for people. I want to, before we let you go, and we're going to circle back on this probably a few times. You haven't heard anything about the commissioner role, have you?
I have not. No.
So Farhan said last week that they're kind of going through the interview process. It's almost done. So what I know, and again, he asked to remain nameless, is our Saskatchewan guy, financial guy, didn't even get an interview. He's not even sure that they looked at his proposal, which I'm hoping to wash a bit and be able to send it to you, Arash, Farhan, guys like that, because I just think there were some really proactive ways and progressive ways to look at the CFL. And the one big thing, Glen, was and I kind of fall on that too, because sometimes I like to be devil's advocate, but Maz and I talked about, we got 15,000 people in the Calgary Stadium, and pushing, is that the new norm? And if it is, then where else are we looking to bring in revenue? Because obviously then people watching are on TV, because it's comfortable to watch anything on TV these days. And then what is the streaming? It's got to be more than just the TV deal. So I'm wondering, if the league just wants someone and the owners that they can control, where are we even going to get change then?
Well, I think the history of this is that the owners have been sort of in control. The owners and the board of governors on the publicly owned teams are the ones that, really make the decisions. It's their desk where the final call is made, and it's usually a vote. It has to be, a vote in the favor of yes, and then you go ahead with the change. But the commissioner has been someone trying to bring that group together. It's been someone who is trying to, and maybe that's what they're looking for, which I think can work, as long as that guy is bringing together professionals that realize that the competition isn't in the boardroom. It's on the field, yes, but it isn't in the boardroom. That everybody thinking the same way and pulling the rope in the same direction is going to get some of these initiatives going and moving, so that you can increase revenues. I keep, every time this happens, I hear a lot of people in the media and in social media say, well, it's pretty simple. The commissioner has got to generate new revenues. Well, that's kind of like saying it's pretty simple. In order for me to survive, I have to drink water and breathe air. Well, yes. The question is, in a country with our teams, our 9 teams, and what do we have, 43 million people now, so not 370 million, 40 million. And where is that revenue going to come from? I think the new commissioner, if he can consolidate the board, bring them together so it's a united front, but also is bringing in the messaging to the fans, the young kids and the flag football development, and leaning big time into that, because those are your future. Those are your future fans. And you mentioned streaming. Now, I'm not in the meetings at TSN. I know that they are going to be all in to try and continue the partnership with the Canadian Football League. That's the only messaging I've heard from executives at TSN. But the streaming end of it is something I think that is a little bit uncharted. I mean, we're seeing other sports do it now. So what can the board and a new commissioner create there? I think that's an interesting one. I don't know enough about it, but I think that's an interesting one. You got to know what you don't know too. But in the meantime, a new commissioner with the right messaging that believes in the Canadiana of this game, that wants to engage the kid. You've probably been to Disneyland many times, right, Barney?
No, just once, Disney World, and I probably will never go back.
Okay.
It was okay, though. It was okay.
Okay, but Disney didn't sell you. Disney sold your kids.
Absolutely.
Disney said, here, look at Buzz Lightyear. Your kid loved him. And then you went to Disneyland. You spent thousands of dollars on Disney because they sold your kids. And, I think that's when you fall in love with sports. That's when you fall in love with a sport. When you're a kid playing street hockey, you fall in love with hockey. You ask your dad, can I play hockey? It really works that way. And the opportunity here is here right now with flag football. It is here. The Olympics are coming up for flag football. This is a way to grow the fan base in a big way. And the revenues will follow. Take care of the game. Take care of that fan base, that young fan base, and the business will take care of itself at the other end. And that streaming thing is a big part of it.
We're gonna have, we'll circle back on this a few times. I think the last stats I saw, 42% of Canadian households did not have a TV subscription. We gotta look at streaming, and maybe TSN. Is there another provider? I don't know, but we can circle back. Okay, so give us a quick rundown on how the trip finishes. You're in Edinburgh right now, probably going to go to the Royal Mile, have a pint for me.
That's as soon as we hang up. That's where I'm heading. But no, this is 3 or 4 more days. This is our last leg, and it is to pay homage to the fight for independence for Scotland, Robert the Bruce, William Wallace. The movie is not really that accurate in a lot of ways, but there are some truths to it. We're going to go to Edinburgh Castle, and I drove.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. We're staying right across from it. And 3 hours of driving from Newcastle to Edinburgh, and I must have drove by 5 golf courses, Barney. I'm just saying. Like,
I know. Don't get me going. You only have 3 or 4 days left, and I know you're doing the William Wallace stuff and all that. But if you do have 4 or 5 hours, take the train from Edinburgh to Lukers, which is the train station outside of St. Andrews.
Okay.
It's about an hour beautiful train ride, an hour back. Go have a couple of pints in St. Andrews and witness that golf course. And it's a public park. You can walk through the first and 18th hole. It'll blow your mind. You'll just be like, this is serious.
Barney, we Googled it on the way up. I said, how far is St. Andrews? Because the host of the show that I work on is a big time golfer. And I wonder if I sent a picture.
Yep. Do it. And The Dunvegan is now owned by Canadians. It's the pint where all the pub where all the caddies go at the end of the round. You won't be able to miss it. It's a block away. And then there's a gift shop across the street. If you do go there, text me, because I'm going to get you to pick me up something, and then I'll e-transfer you, and then I'll get it when you come in for a game. I'm serious. You got to go. It's an hour train ride. It's a beautiful train ride. It's easy. You get from Lucas into town. There's a big rugby field you'll see, and there's 7 golf courses, and it's just like, wow, this is something else.
Okay, I will work on it, my friend, and I'll keep you posted.
Okay, we'll hopefully chat with you on Thursday, Glenn.
Okay, thanks, Barney.
Thanks so much.
Right on. Good interview. That's it. Sharky's not here. That's Curtis if you're still watching the stream. We're going to go to the Combine. Seth Hundeby standing by. Little Dave Thomas interview on that. And then the Samuel Emilus interview is coming up after that. It is a Sports Cage live from Canada's Farm Show, streaming on X and on sportscage.com.
The countdown to the Canadian Football League Combine continues. We're pleased to be joined by first-team All-Canadian linebacker from the University of Saskatchewan Huskies, Seth Hundeby. The countdown is on. How are you feeling, sir?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, definitely started off like the new year a little bit more nervous, but working with Ignite and stuff like that, definitely have built a lot more confidence in my abilities and stuff like that. So I'm excited. Should be fun.
Now, Joel and the team there, I know they do a terrific job, and probably you've been working with them a number of years in the past. Having said that, have you changed anything up to ensure that you're ready to go at the end of March as opposed to being, say, ready to go at the end of August?
Some of the focuses in a couple of the exercises have been shifted to things that we are going to do during the combine and stuff like that. But obviously, there's still focus on strength and endurance and speed and overall just like safety of like doing exercise and stuff like that. So a little bit of a shift, but nothing too drastic.
So how has the preparation gone? Because we were talking just before we started about, hey, I'm writing a midterm right now. Like, there's a lot of things going on in the world of Seth Hundeby.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been definitely busy and a bit of a commitment. But one of the things that makes it easier is like how much I enjoy both engineering and football and stuff like that. So balancing them definitely takes up some time, but at least it's very much of an enjoyment on myself. So it's okay going to workouts every day or more or less, and then having to come home and study as long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
It's hard to believe that you have played with the Saskatchewan Huskies for 4 years. Has that time gone by quickly?
Oh man, it's gone by super duper quick. I feels just like a little bit ago that we were on field 11 during that COVID and all of the shenanigans that had to go on just so we could get on the field. And yeah, it's a thing now that one of the oldest guys on the team and a whole bunch of rookies that unfortunately I haven't gotten to learn their names and stuff like that. It feels like a lot of times pass really quick.
So if I went back, you're graduating from Holy Cross in Saskatoon, and I said, hey, you know what? A few years down the road from now, you're going to have an opportunity for basically a job interview with the Canadian Football League. What would you have said?
Oh man, I would have been a little bit in disbelief, especially growing up. I really enjoyed football just because it's fun, and I got to hang out with my friends. And then even in high school, I remember my high school coach saying, "So what do you want to do after high school football?" I was like, I don't know. I haven't really thought like what kind of education I want to go get. They're like, oh no, like after like football wise. I was like, oh, I didn't even think that was a possibility. And then that turned into a bit of a reality, and then it turned out that I could excel in that. And then yeah, if you were to tell me that I was going to have potentiality with CFL prospect status, maybe it would have probably blown my mind. But definitely going through the process, I'm really excited that did become a reality.
I was once told that the recruiting process for U Sports football or NCAA is you get to go to the dance once and then you have to pick your partner and decide who you're going to be with. Is the recruiting process for the Canadian Football League at all similar?
That is an interesting one. I'm not 100% sure because I feel like I have a better answer to that because I've been a part of a U Sports team, but not being a part of a CFL team and obviously knowing all the logistics, I don't know if I can fully answer that accurately.
Well, you may be able to go ahead and tap some of the alumni from the program. Your head coach has been through this. Have they been resources for you?
Oh man, yeah. So working out at Ignite, a lot of CFL guys work out there. and even just talking to like Cherry and Pickett and Zur and those guys, it's been a huge wealth of just like them giving their experience of their combine days, what CFLs looked like for them, and just overall being good guys to hang out with. So yeah, I've been reaching out to a lot of resources that I've made along the way.
The football world is a small one, right? So obviously you know a lot of the people that are going to be taking part in the Canadian Football League Combine. Are you following their progress, or is it simply about what you do?
More so just focusing on myself. I was happy when they announced everyone who was invited. A lot of those guys I played with at the East-West Bowl, so it's going to be nice to see some familiar faces. A lot of good guys, really down to earth. So yeah, it should be. I've been mostly focusing just on myself, and I know that they're putting in a lot of work, and so have I. So it's gonna be a good time.
You're a competitive person. You can open up if you want. Like, are you going to be approaching this almost similar to a game day where you need to compete and be better than your opponent?
It's interesting in a combine, at least in my eyes, versus like an actual game, because in the game we're on the same field at the same time, and we have opposing opinions, versus at the combine. Well, I guess actually the combine's a little bit separate from like those one-on-ones. Once one-on-ones hit, doesn't really matter what jersey or what helmet color you're wearing. I'm going to go out there and give it 110%. During the combine, though, it's a little bit, I find, different of just like, that's your own personal best. So I find that a little bit different than the games, but once those 2 days of one-on-ones and team drills go on, then that'll be a little bit of a different story.
So there's the physical aspect of the combine. There's also the mental portion where teams have an opportunity to speak with you one-on-one or maybe 5-on-1. Who knows what the case might be. Have you prepared for that?
Yeah, so that's something that we've obviously talked about, and like what potential questions could come up. I think it should be relatively interesting. You know, I really enjoy even like getting the opportunity to speak to some CFL head coaches, GMs, and whoever I get the opportunity to speak with will just be a great opportunity. And, you know, growing up, being interested in the CFL, like that's just really fun that I get the opportunity to do that. So it's nothing that I'm too much stressing about, but it's something that I've definitely kept in the back of my mind for sure.
Well, no matter what, it's a process that I'm sure you'll never forget. We wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for taking this time, Seth Hundeby.
Yeah, no, thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.